Here we are, folks, back here again. And we are here today to talk about not only now, but the future. How will things be in the future? We live in a country that is mad. It seems crazy. We're all trying to weigh in on how to make things better, but it seems that people just don't want things to be better, do they? It seems that everybody is looking for chaos. Everybody's working hard, but they don't seem to get anything accomplished. And that's the world we live in right now. You see, the most important thing is not to get anything accomplished. The most important thing is to learn to live fully and completely. We talk about this on our website. We have life coaching sessions where we teach people how to do this. But even so, even for us, you see, it's more important for us to learn to practice what we preach. It's important for us to learn how to walk in peace, to walk in love, and walk in justice and anything else. And so we put together our videos. We have the radio show that you can listen to if you don't have time to watch the videos. We have a YouTube channel that you can check on in order to see some of our other videos. Some are funny, some are meditative, some are really challenging when it comes to confronting the civilization that we're in now. One of the major problems today is that many people do not confront the system we're in now. They try to walk around it or try to pretend like it doesn't exist. A lot of the things happening now, especially in politics, are a reflection of that. We have two parties running neck to neck and a third party that everybody's trying to ignore. Both parties are pro-war, pro-violence. They want to take over the whole world. Some want to take over the whole world and share the crumbs of that theft with us a little more than others. The others just want to steal the world for themselves and for their egos. Those are the two main parties. The third one, the pro-democratic one, the one that is running but not being acknowledged by the other two or the news media, they are fighting for things like universal health care. They're fighting for the ending of all wars. They're fighting for justice. They're fighting for the use of the Constitution of the United States and the Declaration of Independence, Gettysburg Address, all these things not only being applied to white men or women, but to the whole nation. They're talking about freedom and justice, you see. They're talking about all these religious traditions that we have, where they're talking about love and kindness. They're talking about that being applied to everyone. And they're talking about doing it instead of just talking about it. That, my friends, that group is one that I want to be part of. And I think we all want to be, except we're not allowed to hear from them. We're not allowed to talk to them. We're not allowed to argue with them. All we hear is nonsense and foolishness. We hear projections from other people talking about what they want to give us and what this group, the spiritual group, even though they wouldn't consider themselves spiritual, wants to give it to us. But we never hear the truth. So right now, I think it's time for us to let the spirit of inquiry rise up in us. It's time for us to be willing to seek the truth in love and in justice. It's time for us to let that hungry spark that seeks the truth become a burning flame as we begin to fact check all of these things that we're hearing, the things that make us comfortable, to see if they have any real validity or not. There are several different ways of doing this. One way is through Googling things, of course, but sometimes we find false things on Google. That's why we have to look at many different sources. Googling things, YouTube, old-fashioned encyclopedias, many different things in order to find the truth. And most of all, we need to try to find the truth from within our own hearts and within our own selves through various forms of meditation and contemplation. We can come to that quiet space that shows us who and what we are as a people. It shows us, you see, that we are powerful beings, magical beings who contain all of the forces of the universe. Shows us that we can connect with the divine without some priest or some teacher or prophet telling us how to. It shows us that we are that which we are seeking. And when we find that we are the divine, the God that we are seeking, the power of that divinity, of that love, and the consciousness of it fills us again until we become our divine selves. We return back to the source from which we came. Except this time we are carrying this love, this peace. We're carrying this source within us in order to change the world. You may think, you may wonder why you are here. Why are you here in this body experiencing all of this craziness and madness in the world? What does the world want from you? What is your duty? How do you respond? Well, I have an answer for that. You are here in order to witness the truth and to be the truth. You are here to witness the downfall of the logic and the mental capabilities of many people in this collective consciousness on earth, so that you will know what direction that you need to go in as a divine being. You are here to stay in touch with the suffering and the ignorance of the many people around you, so that you never fall into that trap, and so that you will never inherit the arrogance and the pride and the emptiness that many people on this earth have inherited, and many people are spreading through the news media, through the government, through violence, through hatred, and through the many, many isms that exist in our world today. You see, the isms are not the cause of ignorance. They're not the cause of violence. They're not the cause of misunderstanding. They are a result of all of these things. And when we get rid of the ignorance inside, when we get rid of the ignorance and hatred and violence inside, we don't have to be worrying about the homophobia, the racism, ethnocentrism, and all of those things, because they would disappear out of our own lives. And as the good book says, if you have a log in your eye, you can't see clear enough to see how to remove the splinter out of someone else's eye. First, take the log out of your own eye, and then you can see clearly. It's the same way with this world. We try to go out into the world to change the world, to shape the world. Our country talks about spreading democracy. The problem is, though, that we have no democracy. The log is in our eye as we walk around. We have politicians who are breaking the laws, who are not being held accountable. We have people suppressing votes all over the country who are not being held accountable. We have the Democratic Party blocking access of third parties and primary challengers so that they cannot get put on ballots, but at the same time, we say that we have a democracy. We don't have a democracy. We have a small group of people at the top, about 10%, running everything. And most of our representatives are part of that group. Millionaires and multimillionaires, and if they aren't when they get in, they will be by the time they get out. So let's stop trying to pretend that we are something that we aren't. Let's get the log out of our own eye. Call back all of these people who are supposed to be going out around the world to make all of these countries into democracies. Shut down those military bases and bring those soldiers home to do the work that is necessary in our country to make this place a better world. Draw back from all of those encounters until we have our own stuff together. And when we have our own stuff together, we can perhaps try to help other people get theirs together. The problem is that we have never had it together in our country. And when we begin to fight and squabble with each other in order to avoid that, we choose scapegoats. We go outside of our country and blame other people. At first, we used to blame the people within the country. The black folks, we blamed. The immigrants, we blamed. The indigenous people, we blamed. The poor white people, we blamed. But that stopped working because all of us, as time went on, began to get more disempowered than possible. And any person with a modicum of intelligence who ever walked into a black community or black ghetto or knew a black person could see that these people had nothing themselves and were not to be blamed. And so now we try to blame immigrants who cross the border in Mexico trying to get in because they aren't here to defend themselves. We want to blame the terrorists all over the world. And a terrorist now, of course, is anyone who does not agree with what we want. Those are the new terrorists. They don't agree with what our corporations want. They want us out of their country and region. They want their country to be the best that it can. They want their countries to advance, to build, to create homes, to improve in technology, to become free, to express themselves through various religious means and various sociological means, to be individuals, to be themselves, not to follow out the European model of being, but to tap into their own inheritance and see their goodness and see their beauty. That's what the countries want, but we won't let them do that. We won't let them do that because they have a collective flaw in the collective ego of this country that says that I and only I can be the best. And I will make sure that I am the best by kneecapping, cheating, killing, and overthrowing any country that may make me look bad. Any country that my citizens can look at and see it's working and say, hey, why do they have that when we don't? We don't want that to happen, you see. So we don't allow anyone to succeed except for us. And if someone starts to succeed, we start building up campaigns to slur them, to make them look like horrible people, horrible beasts, dictators, anything we can, so that we can turn the people against them. And so that people will not look at their accomplishments, but look at them as personalities and repeat back the propaganda lines that have been inserted into our minds through the media and through PR agencies and intelligence agencies and all of of this makes us feel good, yes. But is it really doing anything good for us? Not at all. In fact, things are just getting worse and worse as we're pointing fingers at others and not daring to look in to that collective mirror. It's time for us to take that bold step into the truth. It's time to engage in practical spirituality, my friends, where we use our spiritual thoughts, ideas, connections, and practices to improve our lives, to better ourselves, to build the power within, so that we can fight against the worst enemies that we can find. And those worst enemies are the lies, deception, fear, and deceit that exist within us. The ones that have been put into us, bred into us through a society that has conditioned us, and the manipulation and the lies and ignorance coming from outside of our communities to destroy our communities, so that we won't have healthy examples of what it looks like to be a community, to be a family, to walk in love and truth, or even to practice a religion with a God of love instead of a God of hate, vengeance, and violence. It's time to dare to seek the truth and love in freedom and in power, to break out of that box, the sociological box, the socialized box that we have been forced to become. And when we do that, we will realize, you see, that we are the divine that we have heard about, and we are what we seek. Because that thing, that power, that love, that goddess, God, is that in which we move in, live in, and have our being, and that which is the creator and creation of all things. That is it. That is who we are. And that realization is what gives us the free will to become what we will, to make the atmosphere around us how we would have it, to return back to the source from which we come right now, without having to die, to make this place for each of us on earth as it is in heaven. I invite you to do so. Please visit our website to learn more about what we're doing at nextstepcoaching.mysite.com. Sign up for our website, or at least hit the button and ring the bell and pass this information on so we can eventually monetize this YouTube channel and create more deeper, longer lasting, and meaningful videos. Look for our radio station or our website. Make a donation if you would like to. Become partnerships with us as we work beyond race, creed, color, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, to return this place back to what it has originally been and is, underneath all of the fear, the foolishness, the hatred, and the death. Namaste, everyone.